back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks again for watching. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I wanted to just talk about 5 financial tips that I wish I knew in my 20s. So I wanted to talk about some financial tips that I wish that I knew in my 20s, because I don't know if your household is like mine, but growing up we really didn't talk about finances at all, and I wish that we did. So I just wanted to come on here and kind of tell y'all some things that I knew, I've learned along the way, and that I wish that I knew sooner. So let's go ahead and get into those tips and tricks. Okay, so for the first budgeting tip, they're gonna be like budgeting tips and just financial tips overall. So the first tips that I wish that I knew in my 20s is to set clear financial goals. So navigating your 20s, I feel like you really kind of just don't know what it is maybe that you want to do. Like you might have an idea, but you really don't know. At least for me, I had no idea what it is that I wanted to do. Like I knew I was passionate about running my own business, but like what business, you know? So, but you know, I knew that I wanted to start a business. So with that, my first tip is to set clear financial goals. So one thing I always knew was that I needed money, or that it takes money to start a business. So one thing I would say is just to start early. Even if you don't know what it is that you want to do, I would say just to start putting money up into saving, because you're gonna need it at some point. And I hate to just be like save, because you know, when you're young you really just want to live your life. That's what my mindset was, at least. Is like I could die tomorrow, you know, YOLO, you know. That was my mindset of like, why do I need to save, you know, today when I'm gonna just, you know, get more money tomorrow? But I wish that I would have started earlier in my savings, because I learned along the way that investing, especially just, you know, compound interest, and how powerful compound interest is, and just growing your money over time and just letting it sit there, and just really being more disciplined with your money. I feel like the earlier you could start to challenge yourself financially, like by the time you in your 30s, they can't fuck with you. Like they not messing with you. Sorry for cussing, but they can't mess with you. They cannot see you. They cannot compare to you. So that's my first financial tip, is just to set financial goal for yourself, and to really just save your money. Like save your money. Save for a rainy day. Save for car expenses. Just to save and putting money up for other things, so that when things happen, as they always do, you are prepared. So like that's really like one of my biggest messages, is just to set clear financial goals and to save. Okay, so my next financial budgeting tip is to create a monthly budget. If you ask me when I was in my 20s how much I spent on going out, fast food, just regular maintenance, I had no idea. Like I didn't have a number. I had no idea where my money was going. I didn't even check my bank account. Are you crazy? Like I was just swiping. I never knew what I had. My account was in the negative a whole bunch, because I'm just swiping. Like I know I had it, I think. Like I got about $30. Like you really gotta know what you have. Like you have to know what you have. You have to look that amount in the face and like budget. Like give yourself boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Set money for your fun, you know, your fun. Like this is your fund that you spend monthly on having fun. So if somebody came and they was like, well, how much do you eat out a month? You could say, I spent $100 a month eating out, or I spent $200 a month getting my hair and nails done. And you budget that, and that way you know for a fact, so that you keeping track of your goals. And I think that it kind of frameworks with budget of just kind of like putting things in certain places, so you know how much you're saving, you know how much you're spending, and you know where your money is going. Like that's the most important part. Know where your money is going. So that's my second financial tip, is to keep track of your finances and know where your money is going. Okay, so my third financial tip is to pay yourself first. I it took me so long to learn this lesson, y'all. Like, I literally probably just learned this lesson within the last few years, honestly. Like, so I really have to express this to anybody who's in their 20s and you hearing my message. Please pay yourself first. That's the only way. I don't know no other way, y'all. When I learn it, I'll teach y'all. But this is the way that I know. People ask me all the time, like, how did you save up the money to start your business? I had to pay myself first. I worked, and the money that I made from my work, I had to put it to myself. I didn't pay T-Mobile before I paid me. I had to pay me first. And I'm still learning that within my business, to pay myself first, to make sure before anything get paid, I get paid. So that's my next tip. Pay yourself first, because that's how you're gonna learn to save. That's how you're gonna learn your budget. And when I say pay yourself first, I mean when you get paid, that's how you budget your savings account. Because a lot of people have a hard time saving because they think they need to save what's left. You know, I don't have enough after I get paid to save. That's what a lot of people say. But my tip is to pay yourself first. So just like you setting your monthly expenses, make sure that, I don't care if it's just $20, you put $20 before you pay anybody, okay? That's rule number 3. Okay, and tip number 4 that I wish I knew in my 20s is to limit my spending. Girl, if I was to tell you how much money I spent on the whim, don't let me be out having a good time. What? Drinks on me. What? Why am I the one paying for drinks? I can't afford this. My car no due tomorrow. But I was impulsive. I bought a lot of stuff based off my feelings. It wasn't even something that I needed. Like, I'm going out, I need a new pair of shoes. Like, I got shoes at the crib. It was just ultimately just impulsing. I'm buying based off of my emotions. I get sad, I go to the mall. It was never really like strategic. So my next tip is just to be more strategic with your spending. How can you do this, and what does that look like? So my best example is to set a list. Okay, so let's say that you know that you want a new bag, okay? You want the new Chanel bag that's dropping, all right? So first, look up to see how much the Chanel bag costs. You gotta know how much it costs so you can know how much your spending is, right? Treat yourself. Just because I say baddie on a budget do not mean don't treat yourself. Never that. Always treat yourself. But we gotta learn how to do it financially responsible. That's my thing. So yes, first find out how much it is that the Chanel bag costs, right? And then once you have your expenses, you can kind of get a financial picture of what's going on in your life. So after I pay myself first, I pay my car note, I pay my car insurance, my rent, or whatever it is that I gotta pay. I noticed that I have about $30 left at the end of the month, right? So if I really want this bag, instead of me impulsing buying it and trying to figure it out, I'm gonna say, okay, well, if I need, you know, $1,000, I don't know where you're getting the shit back for $1,000, but if I need $1,000 for this bag, then I know that I need to save up, you know, X amount of money for this amount of time so that I can buy this bag. And then from there, you know exactly what you need to do. Now, if you get extra funds, you can put it towards that, but you're strategically planning. And then while you're doing this, you're building up discipline and you're working towards something. So when you do get it, you know that it's absolutely worth it, because for me to get this bag, it took me this amount of time. And then you kind of really realize what it is that you actually want, and versus just buying something off the whim because you felt like it. You know what I'm saying? So that is my next tip of no impulsive spending, and to just be more strategic with the way that you're spending, not buying out of emotions or, you know, doing that, but actually being more strategic in how you actually are using your money. All right, y'all. So my last, 5th and final tip is going to be educate yourself on finances. The fact that you're even here watching this video lets me know that you are someone who is responsible. You're someone that cares about your finances. You're someone that wants to be rich. You're learning. You're taking the time out to listen to things of this nature. That is great. Continue that. Continue to learn how money works. Where do people who are rich, how do they spend their money? What do they spend their money on? Learn that. Learn what it is that you need to do to get your dream life. If being rich is what you want, you have to learn how to be rich so that you can become rich. You have to educate yourself. So that's my fifth and final tip, is to educate yourself on finances. If it's something that you don't know, I am all about going to learn about it. You know that being rich, it might change the amount of taxes or the way that taxes work. Learn about it. That's something that I'm currently looking into because I have no idea. So that is something that you have to do. You have to put yourself in different rooms. We have the internet, and it's such a blessing because we have access to so much information. Use it. I'm trying to tell you, it's so many people out here who have so much knowledge that they are spilling. There are books, there are courses, there are mentors, there are people in this finance world who are giving out game. And if you are out here trying to figure it on your own, you're doing yourself a disservice. Like, go get financial help. Get the information. If you can afford to, get a financial planner and get someone who can help you actually break down and help budget your finances. And I have some, stuff coming up that I'm working on. So just keep doing on the lookout. But I just wanted to get that fifth and final tip of actually sitting down and getting the education that you need on your finances. All right, y'all. So those are the 5 tips that I wish I knew about finances in my 20s. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit my website, baddiesbudget.com. Again, that's baddiesbudget.com to get your Baddies merch. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.